treatments. And sometimes the treatments are worse than the disease. And this happened in this case with Ahuva's daughter. And she was not able to do the treatments, and fortunately was introduced to these redox cell signaling molecules. And I call that a real gift in strange wrapping paper, because her daughter, who is just celebrated a big 50th birthday a couple months ago, you know, really was an awakening point for Ahuva to know that she had to share it. And she shared it with me. And as a result of sharing it with me, I used this product for a year before ever sharing it with a patient or a client. And but I had my awakening, and that awakening was I just saw so many people go through so many transformations. And as the MC here, and as a result of the massive impact of Ellen seeing a wheelchair in her future, to 6 days later riding a bike over 6 miles, almost 7 miles, the next day almost 11 miles, that became my defining moment where I knew I needed to know more, because I knew I needed to share this on a bigger scale. And so this product, and just to keep it really just basic, because the vision of our time together is to give just some basic information about what redox is, what it isn't, and then do a testimonial. We're going to have one testimonial from answer as many questions as we can in 30 minutes. And so, you know, the essence of these molecules is this: your body is designed to heal, regenerate, and be whole. Your body is designed to heal, regenerate, and be whole. That's just the fact. Every cell is designed to know when to die, and then when to be reborn again. Skin cells every 28 days, red blood cells every 120 days. You got a new liver every couple months. Your body is constantly turning over every single cell, including the brain, which used to be thought that you don't get new brain cells. Every cell has the ability to do that. But I want to just explain this. Here's a healthy cell. It produces 2 new healthy cells: 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, right? They tell 2 friends, they tell 2 friends. That's the nature of it. But here's an unhealthy cell. Doesn't matter where it's at: skin, immune system, liver, digestion, lymph, whatever it might be. Guess what that unhealthy cell is going to do? It's going to regenerate 2 new unhealthy cells, 4 new unhealthy cells, 8, 16, 32, 64. They tell 2 friends. So it's the nature of these molecules that are produced within us, natively within us, to go pick out those cells over there. They're damaged. Go repair them. Go replace them. Go repair, go replace. When we age, when there's toxicity, when there's stress, it doesn't matter what kind of stress either. Emotional, poor diet, the world that we're living in, electromagnetic, any kind of stress is going to influence the part of our cell, the mitochondria, that produce these molecules, and affect their development, how much there is in the right balance. And when they're not in the right, when there isn't the right amount or the right balance of these redox molecules, then the system isn't able to identify. Keep it simple, because the science of redox goes far and wide, but the key is just simply that. And I would love, actually, Chiron, if you wouldn't mind sharing your experience of ultimately your cells that were producing more unhealthy cells, right? And all the different things that you did to activate your body to heal, and how redox influenced you. So thank you for sharing your story.
I'd like to share screen just to give people a perspective of my pictures.
Yeah.
So I started with skin issues when I was 3, 4 years, introduced with a lot of drugs, a lot of medicine, heavy medicine, and then I've been using it for 10, 12 years. And when I was 17, I decided to say, hey, I don't think this works. And then I just decided to stop it. You know what Dr. Darren said, the treatment itself is worse than the symptom itself. It's really true. The moment I stopped using the medication, I got into this situation, as you can see in the picture. Let me just enlarge this. As you can see in the picture, I got into a very burnt state and my skin just starts cracking and I scratched all over and it was itching so badly. So my immune system got really, really aggressive on me. And I had a hard time I was basically bedridden. So fast forward, I got better sometime and I got, worse sometime. And I've been going on different modalities, natural healing, diet, Chinese medicine, energy healing, emotional healing, homeopathy, everything that I've tried on the table, it just wasn't the cut because it just kept coming back. So this is just to put into perspective, August 2019, I was in this space. I was pretty much looking like a normal person. But October 2019, just a couple months later, I ate something wrong. I was emotionally stressed. I was depressed. I was having a lot of suicidal thoughts. And then I was basically going a hard time in my life. And right away, my skin just starts reacting again. And it started off with such strong inflammation. So by the time July 2020, I was in that situation for 10 months and I wasn't able to heal, and I started to be worried because I usually, with the modalities that I've learned, I was able to suppress my symptoms at some point naturally. But by the time 2020, I asked for a divine intervention, and that was when I met Dr. Darren and he shared a SIA with me. And basically what I did at that time, I did fasting, I did so many different things and nothing was the cut. So the symptoms I was suffering at that time was chronic fatigue, lower back, high uric acid, my skin was inflamed, the scars weren't healing, my immune system was aggressive, I can't touch anything that has to do with sugar, brain fog, I can't sleep, and I had a lot of emotional trauma. So this is when I started documenting when I received it. I started to feel more hydrated because my body was itself burning and burning and burning. 12 weeks. This is my body. So I gained weight, I lost weight, and then in between the first week and the third month, I was basically going through in and out. Sometimes I get more inflammation with detox experiences. Sometimes it heals and it feels good. And here are more pictures that shows the difference between the first and especially the 8th week and forward. My body just went to a different place. 12 weeks, 10 weeks. And this is my hand with a lot of scars, a lot of scratch mark. I wasn't able to sleep. I was able to, because of the itch. I noticed that in 2 weeks, my itch dropped from a 9 to a 10 to all the way to a 3 to a 4. And because I wasn't stretching myself, I was able to heal. I think that was one of the most important things why doctors would give me medications to stop me from scratching, to damage my skin again. So it was a very good alternative to what they were giving me, but in a more natural way doesn't have any side effect. So by the time 3 weeks onwards, I started to recover. I went back exercising again. I went back moving around again. I started living my life again. So 3 months, I had deep sleep. My chronic lower back, started getting better. My chronic fatigue starts to heal. I was able to be more energetic. I can eat things now with more carbohydrates in my diet with minimal amount that doesn't give that aggressive immune response. So 6 months later, as you can see that, I went for my first professional photography and my skin was just so perfect at that time. And I just felt so impressed because Dr. Darren told me to use at least for 120 days. I saw results first week, more results in three months. And then by 6 months in it, I'm back to a normal person. And I just feel really, really grateful for to be introduced to this redox molecules because my life definitely changed for me. So thank you for listening. Thank you, Dr. Darren.
Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so happy and I'm so grateful that you were open to learning about it and understanding what it is, and more importantly, the value of it so that you could take it seriously and use it properly. Because what I found more than anything is that when people don't take the time to learn about internet and say it's expensive salt water, it's not expensive salt water, you can't drink salt water and live. It's redox cell signaling molecules. It's exactly what your body produces on its own, and it replenishes what your body produces, so your body knows what to do. The fact that you were open to it allow you to go through that path, and you did it right. And I'm so happy for you, and now as a result, the people that you're able to touch as well. So thank you, my brother. Infinite love and gratitude. So what I would like to do is I'd like to open up the floor and make a real clear statement. It's against the law. I know this is crazy, but you cannot make claims. So we can talk symptomatology, but if you're like, well, what about leukemia? And what about diabetes? And what about this? You can ask anything, but how you got to listen to how I communicate. I'm going to communicate in a way that's very conscious and conscientious to the regulations of the ASEA boards that make sure that this product is available for people to receive around the world, because we're staying within the guidelines and we have to communicate in that way. So please, if you have a question, raise your hand and I'm happy to answer any questions about the product, how to use it, concerns or anything else that you might have. Brett.
The first question I want to ask is, Chiron, how much are you taking? What did you start with, and what do you have maintenance right now?
I started with one cup a day, 60 ml or 1 ounce day and night, right? And then the second week, I stayed at 2 cups day and night, 120 mils or 2 ounce day and night. And I stayed there until the second month. And in that month, between second month and third month, where you can see a massive growth results, I double my dose again, 4 cups day and night. And I stayed there for a moment until I feel really good in my body. And I went back to 2 cups day and night. And for maintenance now, I still do 2 cups day and night. And as for Renew 28, which is a gel that we apply on, the first week, I went through 2 tubes because I was so in pain. I just want to, get out of the itch cycle, get back to my sleep cycle. And I went 2 tubes, and then and ever since that, it decreases progressively. And now I'm using 2 tubes a month from maintenance.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Karen.
Yeah, I'd like to piggyback off of that. I recently had a client who had a knee replacement surgery, and she was using a drug called Dilaudid, and that is a serious heavy narcotic. And she was scared of being hooked on it, but she was really, she just had knee replacement surgery. So she was in an immense amount of discomfort, and, like more than discomfort, like tap out, right? And so she lived close to me here in Illinois. So she ordered the entrepreneur pack, so she got the right amount of product. But then, so I drove some over. I brought 4 tubes of her new 28. And the first, because she wanted to get off of the medication, she didn't want to have to use it. She did 3 and 5, didn't need the pain meds that night. Next day, and it was the first time, 2 weeks after surgery, still in so much pain, right? The next day, she wakes up in a lot of pain, does a 3 and 5 again, doesn't need the Dilaudid again, has not needed the pain meds since as a result. So she went through 3 tubes in 3 days. So it's not that you can use too much of the product. It's just about listen to your body and use it properly. That's the beauty of it. So I just wanted to say that based upon that. Who else has questions? Just raise your hand if you've got questions.
Lisa.
Oh yeah. Hey, Lisa.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a new phone, so I'm doing this on my phone.
Good job.
But I've got a question. When you refer to the detox, what do you expect during the detox? And when does it get to a point of concern? If you have high blood pressure or you are on heavy medications and stuff like that.
Yeah. I like to have people start slower, where it's 60 mils or 2 ounces twice a day. Usually there's no one way for everybody, but usually 60 mils twice a day, or 2 ounces twice a day, same thing. Do that for a week. That usually opens up the system so the body's capable of, dumping poisons and toxins easily. And I like to make sure that people are drinking the right amount of water, 1 quart for 50 pounds, 1 liter for every 25 kilograms. But some people can have a spike in high blood pressure. Some people can get headaches or feel flu-like symptoms. As far as on one level, how long should that last? On an average, maybe 2 or 3 days is what it happens. However, some people have more sensitive systems, and what are called their homuncatories or detox pathways are blocked.
Got it.
And then if their detox pathways are blocked, to me, as somebody who does energetic medicine, I open up those detox pathways. So however, let's say you don't have somebody like me to help you open up those detox pathways, because a seal will do that on its own. It's going to open up the detox pathways. But if you notice that the blood pressure spikes, just lower the amount down, like go off of it for a day and then go back on again. And then just keep going back at it until you can, because at one point the system will empty the garbage. And once it does, then you'll find that the system starts to regenerate cells faster than, the degenerative cycle is in place. But, I find maybe, 20% of people have a reaction, that's intense. At the most, really. It's different. But here's the thing, though, Lisa, that's really important to understand. The fact that a detox happens is working. The best thing. Yeah, it's the best thing that could ever happen, because the system's on. And I know it doesn't feel good, but the body's gotta let go. Forward. So hydrate. If you can get movement, sleep is good. Just look at Chiron. Chiron had decades of symptomatology. Some people's have so many years of so you might even think like, oh, somebody like that, they're going to have that. There's no one way to know who will. Some people that have goes around the bite. Some people think that those people will all have a detox reaction. Some do, and a lot more of them don't. So there's no way to really figure out who will or who won't, but it's a much lesser percentage. And when it does happen, it's actually a positive thing cut it back, stop it for a day, then get back on. You want to get a detox in, move your body, go for a walk, drink water, and give yourself love. And it really makes a big difference.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
Pleasure. Yeah, great
Dr.
question.
Dr. Darren,
What-
there's a question from Kim in the chat. It says, what does a 3 and 5 mean?
Oh, good. 3 and 5 is one of the most incredible things in the entire world. It means 3 applications of Renew 28, all within 5 minutes. So you shake this first to get the redox molecules distributed evenly. And then let's say you got, we're going to put like a big dollop, like 3-4 blueberries all over the knee. Let it dry. Another dollop, put it over the knee, let it dry. Another dollop, put over the knee. 3 applications all within 5 minutes. Super saturates the air. That's when the body does its business of repairing, replacing damaged cells, is when blood's flowing. So 3 and 5 really does that in an incredible way. Incredible. In your home. That is a chiropractic adjustment in your home. 3 and 5, up and down from the base of your skull all the way down to the tip of your coccyx. Do that 3 and 5. Do that once a day. That is a smart way to influence the intervertebral disc and the nerve flow that goes up. There's pain or dysfunction in range of motion. Obviously cuts, burns, and different things like that. This stuff is profound. It's profound.
So also we've got a couple more questions. Jody Colgrove is asking, how often do you find that people do not take enough
Unfortunately,
ASEA?
yeah, is there, you got more to it?
Right. Yeah. Well, then when they increase the amount they take, they get better fast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she was just reiterating that, but
Exactly. I mean, and that's the thing. And to me, I have a process that I want to make sure, as a physician, I want to make sure that people understand what is this. What makes it? This is going to enable your cells to communicate with one another. And so, when people really realize the nature of it and that it's absolutely safe and non-toxic, 100%, it cannot hurt you, then the key is use it properly. And I find that people, in whether it be their own mistrust or their own experience of just the journey that we go through, people decide to do it in their own way, and they're like, oh, it doesn't work. And the reality is it works. And the key is you just got to do it properly. And I find that if you can, and there's no one way for everyone, but I find that if you can amp up and get to a sweet spot, and as Chiron was saying, 4 ounces twice a day, he doubled it. And then he was doing 8 ounces twice a day. And the reality is different than homeopathy. More is better with this product. More is better with this product. But you just don't do that all at once. You want to amp up properly. When people are guided in how to use it and to stick with it, and that's why Chiron knew, stick with it for 120 days before making a decision. When people understand that, then they're going to get a much more effective result. That's what I find. But some people just have to do it their own way, and hey, that's just the way it is for some people. Then that's okay. We all have our journey. What's the other question?
One of the questions is about menopause, but there was a lot of responses in the chat already, so that's awesome. But Dr. Darren, maybe you could speak to why it helps women go through those phases in life. I know I can speak to it directly. It was a positive side effect, literally. I wasn't expecting it. When I started taking it, I took it for the little bacteria bug issue that I had that was really absolutely debilitating. But as I started to go through and feel better, several months down the road, I noticed my hormones were balancing. And that is one of the things that ASEA does that was actually proven in the study done in 2017 at a lab called Tourette Laboratories. It's an independent laboratory. They studied how this affected humans and found that it actually opens up the genetic pathways in the areas of hormones is one, digestion, immunity, circulation, and the fifth one is cardiovascular. There it is. So yeah, it's amazing. And then someone else was asking about pets too, if it can be used for pets. So here's the thing. The ASEA itself, which this is what the bottle looks like, is labeled for human use. But through the studies and through all the usage, we know that it is 100% safe. Like there's no toxic limit. So we are we are pets that, because it is so safe and effective, yes, it can be used that way. It's not labeled for that use, but I have used it with dogs, birds, even my fish.
Right.
I've got a story in ASEA Healthy Self and a video about my fish. So this is something that if it has a cell, it can help it. Yes, even plants. So it is absolutely incredible, and I'm just so grateful for it.
And
so go ahead.
Yeah, and just the bottom line is, doesn't really matter where the imbalance or the dysfunction is in the body. It always comes down from a physical perspective to the health of the cell. And so whether it be cells that are associated with your adrenal glands, your ovaries, or the prostate or the liver, the nature of it is cells in these parts of our body. And those cells start to communicate, then they can do their job, and that is repair, replace. And when they do that and you really stay consistent, the body can really find a whole new balance point. So here's the thing, my friends, and I want to actually put this out here. In the chat, I would love to actually get feedback. Did you find this conversation useful today? Give me a yes or a no if you think that this was useful or not, because this is what I'm thinking, and Ellen is thinking, is that we would like to do a Dr. Darren Power Half Hour on a weekly basis. And I want to keep it at a half hour because I think a half hour is digestible, gets to experience a little bit of science and testimony. I'll answer some questions, but it sounds like people are really positive about it. So I love it. Cool. So we're going to plan to do this, and we'll put it out there, but I want to keep it to the 30 minutes because this way you can count on the consistency. I want to say thank you to Ellen for helping to, support all of this, and Chiron for sharing, your experience to inspire other people to know what's possible. And I want to thank everyone for showing up here. If you're interested in learning more about it, get back to them and, and talk to them about how you can begin your journey of redox. I highly recommend it. This is a game-changing product. So blessings to each and every one of you. Infinite love and gratitude.
Thank you, Dr. Darren.
I'm so grateful for your time. My pleasure.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Take care.